Hey, in this video, we will discuss Jeb's contribution to Minecraft's development. Specifically, we will explore how he played a crucial role in lifting the game from its early stages to the popular game it is today. We will also touch on his work alongside Notch. Many people have the impression that Notch, until he left or until version 1.0, made the game himself, and those who worked alongside him were just assistants. However, this is not true. Jeb joined Mojang Studios in 2010 and initially worked on Scrolls. Later, he became involved in the development of Minecraft. Notable contributions include wolves, pistons, nether fortresses, and villages. Then everything was raw. The wolf was cool, but not a good companion, despite being cute. Jeb was skilled at creating structures, and he often improved upon Notch's unfinished work, such as the villages. Notch and Jeb complemented each other well. For instance, while Notch was generating the world, Jeb attempted to increase its maximum height. In terms of creating mobs, Notch began to create the skeleton, while Jeb developed another aggressive mob, a spider. During the development stage, Jeb was considered the second main developer, although all additions were made with Notch's permission. Jeb was only able to add content as he desired from December 2011, when he became the main game director. Notch had previously announced that he would not be involved with the game after 1.0, although he remained in charge and had the freedom to make changes. In fact, with each update, Jeb became increasingly unrestrained in his content creation. While earlier updates focused on fixes, closer to version 1.5, he overhauled entire mechanics, such as the redstone system. Notch supervised these changes, but did not have much involvement in the game. I would like to emphasize that Jeb provided opportunities for other developers to create and innovate, as evidenced by the 1.5 update where mechanics were changed globally. The increased frequency of updates also indicates that more than 2 people are now involved in development. Overall, the game has seen more positive changes than negative ones. Over the course of 2 years, Jeb has added many exciting features to the game, although some of them were not fully developed or interesting. Version 1.6 saw significant changes to Minecraft. Jeb partnered with a modder to introduce new features such as horses, saddles, and leashes. These additions were well received by players, with the horse becoming a popular mode of transport. Following the horse update, Jeb introduced a significant update that had a profound impact on the game world. This update altered the terrain generation, added new tree types such as dark oak and acacia, introduced a variety of new biomes, and implemented other features that are still present in the game today. This update was completed in just 8 months, which may seem like a short amount of time for such a significant update. However, the development tactics used were the same as those used today, with each developer focusing on a specific task. It's worth noting that this update helped to create a better balance, as many new blocks were added, and their acquisition is directly related to elements of travel and survival. This update enhances the sandbox theme by introducing new blocks and a structure for mining them. Despite the 312-day development period, the update does not include a significant number of new items or blocks. The reason for these issues is due to the developers' mismanagement of the game's core principles. The update aimed to simplify the lives of mapmakers, but instead created numerous dysfunctional commands. This resulted in significant delays of up to a month to fix bugs, which was highly problematic. The developers had to work hard to balance the game between vanilla and mechanics for mapmakers, in addition to the fact that Notch sold the game to Microsoft and the developers left the studio. The revenue now goes to another company, and it is no longer possible to hire someone as before. Jeb and the other developers are left with nothing. Their team is now dependent on a larger corporation, and Jeb still has the responsibility of coming up with the theme of the update and what to add to it. At this stage, the game could be handed over to other developers who may not have the same level of expertise, resulting in its closure within a year or 2. The 1.8 delay left players without new content for an extended period. To maintain interest in the game, Mojang is releasing a major update in 5 months. Jeb introduced the Elytra, which is the most useful and balanced way to move. Additionally, he added the End City, Shulkers, and most importantly, a new combat system. The developers put in a lot of effort, and the result is impressive. In version 1.10, new mobs and a couple of blocks were added just a month later. In fact, it would be better if this version were delayed slightly, as the quality of all these mobs is below average. There are 2 copies of existing mobs, and one that exists only for ambient, with very few mechanics. However, with the release of version 1.11, expectations was high, as Jeb is adding a huge mansion on his own, while other developers are introducing a variety of new mobs and blocks. You can see how Jeb is already fully trying to keep the balance of Minecraft. After a major update for the RPG and adventure part, there is bound to be an update that adds blocks, such as 1.12. The game already had an established balance, but it was not perfect. For example, the oceans and nether were empty. And then Minecraft 1.13 comes out, the biggest update of all the previous ones, featuring significant improvements to the previously lackluster ocean environment. The update adds depth and atmosphere to the game, making it more engaging for both RPG and sandbox players. There are no badly thought out things here. The game has become better in all plans, except optimization. In this version, the developers decided to completely rewrite the code for the convenience of further development. Although an aquatic update was not initially planned until version 1.14, it was eventually transferred to version 1.13, with the exception of the new textures, which remained in the original version. Despite performance issues, overall it was a good update. And then 1.14 bursts in and takes that performance to the next level. Of bullshit. Because it got even worse there. Then Jeb wanted to keep at least the optimization that was in 1.12, but as you understand, it didn't turn out quite clearly. Additionally, Microsoft's requirement for updates every 6 months added pressure to the situation, leaving little time for anything beyond creating the necessary updates. In this version, Jeb created the pillager and probably the crossbow, but it is impossible to know exactly what he was doing. The important point is that he oversaw the entire update, which turned out well. Trading has been simplified to prevent players from spending excessive time mining for enchantments, while still maintaining a balanced gameplay experience. This version also updated all the textures and added new raids, which made the mansion less unique and useful. Well, all of a sudden 1.15 appears, which you could say raises the game to the ideal state, because it was on this version that optimization became at a very good level, and the game itself had its own sandbox balance. The player set his own goals, and if necessary, explored the world and raided dungeons to get resources for building or to simplify his game. In fact, in this moment, Jeb has outplayed Microsoft by releasing a less content-heavy second update for the year, allowing developers to take a break from major updates and focus on technical optimization. And after that, just by the way, the best version, 1.16, is released, which is considered the best version, although it was not developed by Jeb. It is not mentioned anywhere that Jeb was involved in its development. During the Nether and B update, Jeb was working on Combat Update 2.0. Combat in Minecraft is interesting, well-designed, and easy to understand. It is both simple to understand and challenging to master. Meanwhile, Jeb was working on Combat Update 2.0, which features more sophisticated and engaging gameplay. Unfortunately, at the time of this video, the Combat Update is on hold. Jeb has resigned as Mojang lead game designer. The reason for his resignation is simple. He became bored. Jeb's departure from Mojang was less dramatic than Notch's, as he left at a time when he had a suitable replacement and was almost finished with Mojang. For about 80% of Minecraft's existence before version 1.16, Jeb was responsible for improving and managing the game. Despite the sale of Mojang to Microsoft, he has proven to be a skilled developer, successfully navigating corporate obstacles and enhancing all aspects of the game that were originally introduced by Notch and walk away safely. Was the game better before than it is now? I wouldn't say so. Earlier updates could also drag on, like 1.8, and make the game less optimized. like 1.13. Sometimes even destroy what was added before, as happened with horses in 1.9. Despite these setbacks, the game was nearly perfect at the time of Jeb's departure. However, Microsoft's gradual interference with the developers was already apparent. If you enjoyed this content, please subscribe and like the video. Thank you for watching. Bye.